Hey everybody, welcome back to another Ages of Mayhem stream. I'm Josh Stinson, the video editor here, who just fixed our tech problem in 10 seconds, so...
That's incredible.
Yeah, I know, I'm trying to spin it to make it sound like I'm super smart and a genius. Thank you.
Well, you are.
You should have that in a little instead of video editor, said super smart and genius.
Super smart and genius.
That'd be nice.
I mean, I do change my title every once in a while. I'll do that next week. But hi, welcome to another Ages of Mayhem stream. This week we're going to be taking a look at another agent. This time it is Red Card, our little... Do we say soccer or football in this stream?
We say football.
We say football.
In fact, I don't even know if the word soccer is used in our game because our cast is so international.
I was going to say, I'm pretty, I played a little bit today just checking out some Red Card stuff, and it was I think they just say football.
Yeah, and if
you're...
Or
footy team.
Or if you're
footy team.
Red Card, as Dave knows, you say foosball.
Yeah.
Oh, right. We should probably do introductions. So, yeah, I'm Josh.
Who's Dave?
So he's this guy who just started Skyping us out of
Dave
nowhere.
Is apparently Josh
you know what?
Stinson. Josh Stinson's two people at the same time.
But anyways, I'm Josh Stinson, the video editor. On the couch we got...
I'm Evan Cox, lead tech animator.
Matt Entin, Sr Writer.
Ryan McCabe, lead agent designer.
And then over Skype we got...
Dave B. Mitchell, voice of Red Card.
Hey. And so I'm going to say this might be the first... Well, okay, it's definitely the first voice actor so far that's done this for us. But I don't think anybody has had the chance to cosplay Red Card yet. And, considering that this happened very quickly, I'm going to switch over to him real quick here.
Yeah, all the way.
Yeah.
I'm method, baby.
It's you put it together pretty quick. That's impressive. Like you said, you got that shirt today?
I was at Target this morning. Yeah. Walking by, happened to see it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. All right, that's coming with me.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at some Red Card. We're gonna take a look at some pre-production stuff, some concept art. We're gonna then...
Oh, man.
Oh, they can't see it right now. He's got a poster of Red Card as well. We're going to take a look at some concept art, some pre-production stuff with Red Card. Gonna talk to Dave for a bit, ask him about his work on Red Card, and then we're going to switch over to the game and just see how he plays.
Hey, Josh, which screen is the chat on?
We can't look at the chat at the moment.
Okay.
For reasons.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Just making sure.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that was cool to bring up.
No, it's totally fine. It's just computer things,
Dang.
The World Wide Web, stuff like that.
Ones and zeros, man.
Yeah, ones and zeros.
Series of tubes.
Yeah, that too. Also, the information superhighway. But I could list off internet names all day. But yeah, let's jump over to...
We're doing concept first.
Concept art.
It's fire, dude.
So, I don't know if... I'm pretty sure this is the case, but correct me if I'm wrong, but is Red Card one of the agents that had the biggest, visual change throughout development?
Slightly.
Slightly.
Red Card actually... We'll see this in a little bit. You'll see some of his concept here. But he was actually in the game as in the game with a model and looks completely different in that model than what he actually does now.
Yeah, because and even then it's a little this is kind of what he ended up being at first.
But I mean, we knew that we wanted to have the kind of the vest, the shoulder harness, that whole thing. So you can see that in all of his concepts and whatnot. But it became something that was more of his character than what was originally planned.
Yeah, this is more of this is the original concept, without his left arm.
It's in blue.
It's in blue.
It's a blue pencil, yeah. But he looks just like generic sports dude here versus I play soccer or I'm into soccer.
Football.
Football.
Damn it, Evan.
I'm so sorry. First chat, then football. I just
And Deutsch, bitte.
Yeah, so one of the things that did kind of carry over, or was present even at the beginning, was kind of the idea of his like double gun.
Dude,
The double gun.
I love the double gun. I'm so sad that it didn't end up actually being a thing.
as the double gun.
Yeah,
but
like-
it's still a double gun, and we'll talk more about that in the
It's a double
gameplay,
barrel, but it's not like two guns taped together.
yeah.
Yeah, I really love the. In fact, like when we the video I played, the little public service announcement of red cards. The one I picked was like, oh, do you want a nice like summer look? Just tape two guns together.
Dang, I didn't realize that was in there.
Yeah, that
one
one's
yet.
like while I was just like playing a bunch of those, going like, okay, what's the good one? What's the best one to pick for this? And it was like that was the first play I got. It's like, well, I'll play some more, but I'm pretty sure I just found the one I'm gonna use. But oh right, and then we got our little chart here, kind of detailing everything about the agent. Even back when this was made, is this still about the same, like, gameplay-wise for Red Card? Did he have, like, gameplay changes to him?
He's pretty high in the what we consider, special ability category and whatnot, because his entire gameplay kit is around that. So, like, gameplay-wise, and, like, we still have the double gun, gameplay-wise, not too much has changed. How a lot of it operates has gone through, various prototypes and iterations. But the concept of his harness being the way that he does a lot of damage has always been there.
Okay. Yeah. So who came up with the harness idea? Do you know? Because I think that's like one of my favorite like mechanics in the game.
With the holding to charge it up and all that
like
stuff.
the charging up the collar thing to like blow up.
Well, we know we wanted him to be explosive, and the idea of how do we have a character that explodes in a game where they're not like straight up superhuman, right? Mm-hmm. Like what kind of technology is he going to have to do that, and trying to figure out what that meant. And there was a point when narratively I think that it was like grafted onto him and like sucked his life power and like it got pretty weird, and it was like, no, we'll pull back from that a little bit. It's just a power harness that does explosive damage, but that's always kind of been there.
Right. I never saw this concept art before until I got this stuff like a couple days ago. This is rad.
Yeah.
Like
it's dope.
Daft, dude. Daft.
Boss.
It's great.
Fantastischen.
Like
whoa.
Yeah.
What? Okay, what does that mean?
It was,
fantastic.
Okay. For people that didn't know.
yeah, dude.
Oh man. So we do have he made it all the way into the game with this design.
This takes me back.
Yep.
It was just because like was he ever like fully textured?
Yeah.
He was
done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh man.
I love looking at this just because like the look and kind of the shape of the jaw he had here makes him look really similar, or at least like maybe like a second removed cousin from like BJ Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein. like look at him. He's got like the same
like the square face kind of.
like he doesn't have the blue eyes, but like man.
Like if he could just look sideways, like in that one image.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, like the first time I looked it up, so like, oh, he looks like BJ.
Does he have facial hair in this one?
Yeah, he had facial hair.
Whoa, those are, yeah.
I think this was an early sculpt. I don't know if this was like the one that we ended up getting for game. Like I don't know if that was game texture.
That's why Dave kept his beard for the cosplay, because he's combining the first iteration of Red Card and then the current iteration.
Well, and without the beard, I have no chin, so it's awkward.
Well.
So like Red Card in that previous design made it all the way into the game, like fully, basically done. What was like the catalyst to like completely redo him?
Most agents went through a redesign when Red Card got his redesign as well, right, Ryan?
Yeah, and he was one of the first ones we got in, and he really just didn't read as the soccer hooligan character. Football.
Yeah,
hooligan
football.
Come on,
character.
Ryan. What, next you're going to mention the white chat?
No, you're rubbing off on me. It's your fault.
We need a jar, and you put a quarter in there every time you
somebody
say
says
the S word.
Yeah, everybody kind of went through some redesign. I think Red Cards was probably the most drastic from what it was previously. And at that point, we still didn't have, everybody done. And we were still trying to figure out exactly what our style was, how to speak to each of the agents in terms of personality and, their own backstory and narrative with their actual model and design. And we weren't just getting... We weren't getting a good read with what we had previously, so he had to go through more drastic changes.
What was cool about the redesign was like some of the elements of the original concept. Like if you can go back one slide,
Yeah.
they're like on his shoulder. There are these straps that like if it was a real person, like it would make sense, right? But like, if you're a game character, like we can't make those things look good in game. So we actually got the chance during his redesign to be like, yo, like, how about we make this so like not only will the character read better, but he'll like deform and like look better long run. So the redesign was like really actually useful in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Also, when I was looking at this piece of concept art a few days ago, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but one, I really like the pose for A, but also like that pose and like the style of it reminds me a lot of really early art for Metal Gear Solid. Does anybody else see this? It's like specifically like how big the pant legs are. Like combined, like the Yoji Shinkawa look is always like really big, poofy, but like tactical looking pants somehow.
Yeah.
And it's like that pose just. It reminds me so much.
Are they poofy or does he just like work out? Like
Yeah, I don't
Always
know.
leg day.
yeah. I mean he runs, right? I'm assuming he runs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's thick.
Yeah, we're getting basically a lot closer to what his final design was here.
Yeah.
This is pretty much final.
This is redesign time.
Yeah, the only thing he doesn't have the Band-Aids on, does he? I think that was the one
Yeah,
thing
he
that's different.
did not get Band-Aids on
Okay.
his arms.
Yeah.
They kept one Band-Aid on the nose.
Yeah.
As we can see in our lovely voice actor from before.
And yeah, now we have a couple this concept art from the 2D intro for Red Card, which we'll play a clip of in just a second. Being a proper soccer hooligan and all that. Okay.
Yeah, come on, man.
Football. Fuck, it's so hard.
Dude, you can just Venmo me $1. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll hold my, I'll do that. And these are some of the other fans in the crowd and stuff.
Fellow
I love that dude in the center's hair. I'm calling it out. I love that.
Rudesheim fans.
Like, he tried, at least, right?
I guess before we jump into the little clip here, Matt, so Red Card, does he just really like football? Or is he a footballer himself?
He's absolutely obsessed. His entire world revolves around it.
Okay.
In fact, and we're not going to play them today, but both of his missions are the catalyst for both of his missions, his personal and his unlock, are his favorite team, Rudesheim, that happens to be in Seoul, playing Seoul United, their team. So it's his whole world, and it's the foundation of his friendship with Claymore. And I don't know if people are familiar with Claymore.
We've seen a little bit of Claymore when we did when we streamed the arc.
Yeah.
We didn't talk too much about him, but yeah, we totally saw him. But yeah, I guess we'll jump into this clip here. In fact, we will have our camera go away for briefly, just so you can watch this on its own here.
Bye.
Bye. Whoop. Hold on, let me hit another button.
There's nothing wrong with cheering for your favorite team. Especially against a team like Legion. Especially when they come into your house and fuck up your shit and play with your fucking action figures!
man. So yeah, that's a little clip from Red Card's intro. I really like the scream Dave pulled off in that. Yeah. Dave, do you do a lot of screaming in your voice acting?
Yeah, that happens a lot actually.
Well, okay, another question. When you have to like do screams like of frustration and stuff like that, do you have to do a lot of takes, or are you like a one-take screamer?
Honestly,
that's a term I just came up with.
I like it.
That's what I'm working on, you know. Actually, it's usually they try to keep it to a minimum so they don't trash our voice. And I've done a lot of these, so usually they'll do an ABC, like one, 2 or 3. If they get it in one, they'll go with one, and then you'll do one as backup. But yeah, that's stuff they try to minimize just so we don't get shredded by it. So
right. Yeah, we got a couple more pieces of concept art here. This is a slightly different version of what we saw earlier, but this has his collar in it. Is it called a shock collar? Is that like the actual term for it?
No, it's not a shock collar. I'm sure that it has a name that's an acronym. So
okay. But yeah, and then we can also see. I believe the next slide is actually this too. Yeah, this is like his actual final gun. So it's still like the double gun, but it's more of like a second barrel on it instead of literally 2 guns you flip.
And yeah.
I do like that idea though. I do like the flippy thing, but it did look very hard to hold.
Yeah.
Like that was the point. Like
yeah, we have some actual renders of like pretty close to his. So this is like his final design, but I think this model still underwent more changes because parts of his face look a little different.
I don't know if the face is different, but I can tell you that the collar got changed a little bit just for like animations to like his head could go back farther.
Yep.
Right, yeah, because you can see it's kind of hitting the back already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there were some changes that were made there.
Yeah.
It wasn't major.
And then we have some official final key art here for Red Card as well. I just really like the red yellow color scheme for him. Like I really like his shirt a lot, and that it matches his gun. But yeah, that's some pre-production stuff for Red Card. Before we jump into the game, let's switch over to full screen for Dave here, who is currently holding up that sweet poster.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
yeah, all right.
Oh God, it's Red Card.
Go this side.
All right, so like the first thing I want to ask you was, because you mentioned this when we were talking a little bit while we were waiting for 4 o'clock to roll around. So you say that you do like a lot of dialects and accents for your voice acting?
Yeah, probably more than anything, yeah. I think that's probably the thing I'm known for more than anything. So,
did you have to like, when you started doing voice acting, were like the accent stuff things you picked up, or do you have like a dialect coach?
Honestly, it's just something I've always done. I'm also a musician, and it's funny how much music informs what we do as voice actors. You'll find a lot of voice actors are musicians as well, and particularly with accents and things like that. I always tell people I can't take credit for the fact that I can do them. I mean, I've certainly put a lot of work in over the years, but I've always been able to do them, mostly just because if I hear it, I can do it. Accents are a lot like music. It's not just pronunciation. It's timbre, tempo, cadence, pitch, all those things. So if I hear an accent, being able to do it is just kind of like hearing a melody and singing it back. It's a very similar thing.
Huh.
Yeah. So, and I'm constantly listening. Like whenever I'm talking to anyone, I'm kind of indexing their voice, saving it for later to use as a character, accents. And YouTube, actually, if there's one that I haven't heard or I haven't done before, it's a great place to go and listen to native speakers, speak in their accent. That way you can kind of hear what the nuances are and pick it up. So,
So it was like Red Card and accent you had to work on it all, or is that just one you could just pull out like right away?
There was one that I just was able to do. I mean, I've done a lot of German stuff. I do tons of Brit Irish, Scottish, Australian, German, Russian. A lot of those. I've done a lot of those characters for different things. So.
Okay.
It's like a weird one.
Yeah, there are a lot of different German accents, So, but this one is a little more. A lot of time with games anymore, it's cool because they get super specific with stuff.
Right.
But with a character like this, who's kind of big and over the top, I just want a little more sort of generic, but kind of mixed in a little bit of like he'd learned English from an American. Because a lot of times I'll even have us cheat the accent a little bit in games, so that because if you're playing to an American audience and you do the accent 100% authentic, sometimes it doesn't play for an American audience. You can't understand it that well. So
right.
So yeah, he's just sort of big fun German without going like Bavarian with hard B's for W's and stuff like that. So.
So he was just asking, what's like a weird accent? Like, are there any like obscure ones that you do?
Well, I don't know if they're obscure or weird. Probably some of my favorite ones I've gotten to do are ones that don't exist. I worked on some of the Star Wars stuff, some of the games, and I got to speak Huttese for about 2 hours. That was a blast. And I've done other things where I've actually had to just make up the dialogue, where they give you an emotional intent, and then you literally just come up with words and just sort of, speak, and that's always fun. And in that way, sometimes you'll combine accents to make a new character out of it. So I don't know if there's anything really weird specifically, but yeah, it's fun.
You mentioned like doing the voices where you just have to like kind of make up stuff on the spot. Are you talking about The Sims? Did you do Simlish stuff?
I actually did a promo thing for The Sims where I did some of the Simlish stuff, but there was some other stuff that I did. Trying to think, I think the first, before it was Skylanders, it was like one of those first games there where they actually were all the dragons, and we had to make up dialogue.
Oh, Spyro. Right.
That was fun.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, and actually, there's a trick that I've used before, which I've shown people. If you read anything backwards with a weird accent, it sounds like an alien language. And because you're reading an actual sentence, there actually is grammar and syntax there, and words will be repeated, so it sounds like a real language.
Wow, that is a rad trick. Can we try?
Like Logitech webcam controller backwards is rolt knock mop view igor. Sounds like I'm saying something. It's crap, but
shit. That was insane.
That is like one of the most no-brainer tricks that I've never ever even considered before. That's like,
man. And it works too, because especially they'll sometimes give us a line in English and then give you the emotional context of the line, so you kind of know how you're delivering it. Because if you do it right, it's almost the most basic acting you could do, where you're just conveying emotion. So even with like the Huttese stuff, that's a language that they have that exists, that they've created. But I don't know anybody that actually speaks it. I'm sure somebody does, but they would give us the line. No. Okay, but they give you the emotional context, so you still read the line as if it's an English sentence, as far as where you put the accents and the emphasis and the emotional context. And it doesn't matter for the listener then if they speak the language or not. They still get the emotion of it, so they still understand kind of what the character is doing or what they intend. So it really is like acting 101. It's the most basic acting you can do in a way, because you don't have the words. You just have to convey emotion, which is kind of the base of what we do. So.
Since you showed that trick just now, there is something I saw in like a much older game that had like a featurette that was about like the voice actors and stuff, and they showed like apparently what a trick that some voice actors do, and I'm curious if this is even a thing that anybody does anymore. But apparently like this was for like one of the X-Files games on the PS2, I think, actually. But apparently some voice actors, like when they were in the recording booth to like enunciate stuff better, they would actually put lipstick on. Is that a thing you've seen anybody do?
I've never heard that one. That's
really?
Not though. I mean, one of the tricks you'll do sometimes with doing legal tags where you have to read really fast and really clear is it's almost like using a batting donut. You put a pencil in your mouth and read everything with the pencil in your mouth and get it absolutely clear. And then when you take it out, it's suddenly a lot easier to enunciate all of those things really quickly. So,
Man.
There's all kinds of little tricks and little things just because the whole goal is to make it sound real and believable. I mean, to me, an actor's only job is to convince the audience that you are who you're portraying. And ultimately, if you believe it, then we've done our job. That's the only thing we're supposed to do is make you believe that we are who we say we are. Because if you don't believe it, it takes you out of it, and then you kind of lose the whole thing. So
Right. Yeah, it's like with some voice actors, there's some where they have specific voices where it's like that voice they do is really popular, so you might hear in a couple things, or like some people are just so like I can spot Yuri Lowenthal anywhere now. Even when he does completely different voices, it's just like, oh, I just know the quality of his voice because he's like in every other anime thing ever. But I'm guessing like with you, it'd probably be a lot harder just because of all the completely different things you do. Like, are there any things specifically that like you do a lot, like as a recurring voice?
I mean, like commercially, promo narration, yeah.
Okay.
Those are a lot more straightforward to me. Although I had something kind of funny happen recently. It was in 20 years of doing this professionally, it's the first time this ever happened. I was watching the NBA Finals, and I had two of my commercials run back to back. They were both 15s. They put them back to back, and they were two vastly different voices. And nobody knew it was the same guy, and even most of my friends didn't know it was me, which was kind of funny. And I just happened to notice it, and I went, oh, that was kind of interesting. So, yeah, I mean, although I had something else happen interesting recently. There was a commercial on that I was ignoring because it wasn't something I had done, I thought. And I went, what? And I read it back, and I thought maybe it's just a voice match or somebody similar or something close. I listened to it, and I'm like, nope, that's me. Yeah, that's me. I didn't know I was in this. So we're working on that right now.
Man.
Dang.
That was different. Because, I mean, they hire us, obviously, they hire us to do voice matches a lot for things, and a lot of us can do each other's voices or we'll riff on each other's voices or stuff like that. But, yeah, it's when you hear your own voice and you're not expecting it, it's kind of like, oh, wait a minute, I think that's me. So it was.
How long have you been doing the voice acting stuff for?
Professionally, my first paid job was in 1997, so yeah, 20 years.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I went full-time. I moved out to LA in 2004, went full-time 2005, so I've been doing it full-time for 12 years.
How long have you been doing like games specifically?
Probably about 12 years. That was actually some of the first stuff that I did. And Nolan North, who's a friend and who is pretty much the titan of video game voice actors for guys. When I met Nolan early on, and he actually said to me, he said, with the kind of stuff you can do, he said, you're going to do a ton of video games starting out because you're versatile and there's a lot of work for it. And it ends up, I love doing it. And though I haven't actually played anything in the last few years just because of being busy, and I get obsessive about games, but I used to be pretty hardcore with, especially with shooters and just going way back. I mean, I was obsessed with Mech Warrior 2 and Mech Warrior 3, if you remember those games. I was nuts about those.
Dang.
And then ended up playing a lot of shooters, the Jedi Knight games, or even Prey I thought was great. Half-Life 2 might still be the best game I ever played. I really it seems like I gravitated towards shooters. I really ended up liking those a lot. So
Nice. Oh man, I had another question that just slipped out of my mind. Son of a bitch. You guys have questions?
Well, we were trying, before we started the stream, we were trying to figure out how many characters you played in this game. And we came around to at least 4, including Red Card. And
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and just the players won't even know until they see the credits. The voices are that distinct and so that different.
Well, one of them was the best character name I've ever played, ever. Marcus Thunderbolt. That's the best character name I've ever had ever. So
you had one line.
Name to that actually. So.
Yeah, you had one line for that one, but you knocked it out of the park.
Well, that's what. Hey, man, it's all about that. No small parts, only small actors.
And you play the principal villain. We won't get into the specifics in 2 of our agents' plot lines.
I do.
Yeah.
Man.
But you'll have to play the game to find out.
Yeah, but he can do a hell of a Japanese accent.
Oh, that one! I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, yeah. Because I remember, one I just did, and then, I forgot.
Because, we reached out to you because you've done Dynasty Warriors, correct?
Yeah, I did Dynasty Warriors for years. I did Guan Yu and Liu Bei for, I think, from Dynasty Warriors 5 on. In fact, I'm pretty sure, I think Dynasty Warriors 5 may have been the first video game I ever did.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing Guan Yu in that. Because when Crispin Freeman stopped doing it, then I took over for him, which never an easy thing because Crispin's amazing. But yeah, I think that was the first game I ever did actually.
Oh man, I played a decent amount of Dynasty Warriors. Knowing that is kind of like changing all of that for me. That's weird. Man.
Well, see, I ended up playing the younger Liu Bei, because Liu Bei actually, he's at 2 different points depending on which game you're in.
Yeah.
I don't remember who did the older one, but yeah, I ended up playing the younger one for several of those games.
Wow.
Whenever they had the younger version of him, it was me. So.
Yeah. Man.
And yeah, there's parts where he and Guan Yu were talking. That's always kind of funny. So.
When
conversations with each other. So.
Okay, so like if you were recording like for 2 characters that were in literally the same scene, do they just have you bounce back and forth, or do they have you do one character's lines first?
In animation, yeah. In animation, a lot of the time we'll end up talking to ourselves. Okay. Not so much in games, just because obviously with animation you're basically doing the radio play to animate to, and then you kind of want to run all of that as one thing. But with games, because you're triggering individual lines a lot of the time,
right?
Also, in the cutscenes, it'll go back and forth. But usually, then even just for consistency and make it easier on you guys, and certainly make it easier on the engineers and editors, you'll do everything individually.
Yeah.
And then they'll put it together. So, and a lot of time you'll either have the director reading in with you, or you'll have the context because you'll see the other dialogue, so you know what you're reacting to. And especially if you're playing both characters, you kind of know what you're going to do as the other character. So it lets you sort of play that whole thing in your head. Which, I mean, really, it's funny because I always tell people when they ask me about doing video games that it really is, it's like being a kid. It's like being at recess. When you're in 3rd grade and you're on the playground and you're Spider-Man, if someone talks to you, you're not Dave, you're Spider-Man, and you believe it. And it's kind of the same thing we do, because with games, most of the time we're in the booth by ourselves, and we've got great directors. And Amanda, who directed this, is a dear friend and just a wonderful, amazing director, and she's hot. So she wanted to make sure that we got there. So hi, Amanda. But she's awesome, and but so a lot of the time, we're by ourselves, and you really kind of have to do that turn it on and off thing where you just have to live in that moment. You have to completely just forget where you are. And I tell people about that, and I caught myself doing it one day. I was playing some creature in a game, and I caught myself actually doing this when I was delivering the line, because, they're short loops usually. So I'll try and see the line. A lot of the time now they'll have it up on a big screen TV instead of a paper script. So it's big and projected, and it makes it a little easier to see everything. And I don't really see that well without my glasses. Because I'm old. But I remember I had this line, and I delivered this creature line with sound effects and noises and stuff, and then, back to me. And I actually was aware for a moment of the fact that as I was doing the line, I physically was not seeing the room I was in. My eyes were open, but I had committed the line to memory. It's a short line, so I got it, so I wasn't looking at the screen. And I realized that in that moment, all I saw in my head was me as this creature doing the thing he was doing. And as soon as I finished the line, then I was back in the room again. So I think that's kind of what all of us do. And that's, that's the acting of it. And it's funny because we all get the question, wow, it's great that you all do all this voice acting. Have you ever thought about doing any real acting? And it's kind of like, as opposed to the fake acting I'm doing now? So it's acting, and that's why I'm kind of picky about referring to myself as a voice actor and not as a voiceover artist, because I do some work as a voiceover artist, narrations, promo, and stuff like that. And that is it's a legit thing unto itself. But really, it's acting, pure and simple, just without you're not seeing us. We're just trying to bring life to another image, just like you would do if you're on camera. So.
Right. Because I've heard some especially in all the CG kids movies that happen now, where sometimes it's the cute talking character, sidekick character is always some random celebrity they grabbed, and it's they're generally not a person. They're on-screen actors and not actual voice actors. Moana came out 2 years ago or something. The Rock voices one of the characters there, and apparently there's a bunch of stories of him constantly asking people how he did, because apparently he thought that voice acting was way harder than any of the on stage acting he's had to do.
I mean, I don't want to say that it's harder, because I think everything presents its own set of challenges. Mm-hmm. And I haven't done on camera stuff for so long. I would probably have to adjust to it, because now there is a lot of physicality to creating a voice character. When you're in the booth, you really do have to do a lot of the things that the character's doing, and sometimes you'll over-exaggerate physicality because you'll hear the difference if you don't do it. And I have a feeling that if I was on camera, I would have to learn how to tone that back down again. Mm-hmm. Because I always think that the best voice acting exists in this kind of this narrow range between the grounded reality of film and TV and the projected reality of the stage. Because the example I use is, when you're looking at an image, no matter how well crafted or animated that image is, and the work that the animators and designers and everybody are doing now, it's insane, the level of life and detail that they bring to all of this stuff. But if you see Arnold Schwarzenegger walk into a bombed out building, wearing a leather jacket, sunglasses, and carrying a shotgun, he's the Terminator without saying a word. Right. As human beings, we recognize a living, or a living being around a metal endoskeleton. But because I'm a dork. So, but we see something living and we connect to that. Whereas no matter how well rendered an image is, until you speak, there's nothing human there. There's no actual life. So you kind of have to add you still want it grounded, you still want it believable, you still want it organic, but you have to give just that little bit more to bring that spark to it and really bring it to life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is the thing I was actually going to ask you a while ago. Before we jump to the game and see how Red Card plays, one more question for you. Do you have any specific Red Card lines you're a big fan of?
Specific lines. It was about a year ago when we did most of this stuff. So I remember ideas, though, that you mentioned that his life revolves around football, but that's not entirely true. Uh-huh. He does have one other very passion, and that's butterfly princesses. Butterfly princesses. Anytime I had to. In fact, when I showed up for the first session, because a lot of the time we don't know what we're working on, and sometimes we don't know what we're working on even through the course of the game, because secrecy is so tight and everything's under a code name. And when I got the auditions for this, I didn't know what it was for. I just knew it was a bunch of great characters. And to be honest, the one out of all the auditions that I really wanted to do probably the most was Red Card. Mm-hmm. So I was really happy when I ended up getting that. But I showed up and Amanda said, "So today you're working on My Little Pony." And so she told me it was My Little Pony, and I was a brony, and we're doing all this stuff. And then she actually told me what it was. So anytime we got to do the Butterfly Princess stuff, because he's so over the top and loves destroying things, and he's kind of the smart ass. But then he's just so obsessed with the Butterfly Princess. It was so much fun to play.
Yeah, that's because I don't know. The in-game stuff with Butterfly Princesses probably won't pop up unless he mentions it while we're taunting or something. Because a lot of that stuff's his the random conversations that happen with him, and a little bit of his in-mission dialogue, I believe, for his own personal missions.
A lot of his banter with the other agents definitely is on the subject of Butterfly Princesses and sort of him trying to spread the gospel of Butterfly Princesses to the other agents in Mayhem.
Because he's not the only actual fan, right?
There are multiple.
more fans.
There's
Yeah.
multiples. Yeah. Oh man.
It is spread.
He's the not secret biggest fan. Though.
Yeah.
There's some
Yeah.
great reactions
Very
that the other
outspoken.
agents have to it too.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed
He's
finding
yeah.
this.
He's the only one who will cosplay as his favorite butterfly princess.
Yep.
Which is it Caramel Heartstar? I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you remember what Red Card's fan?
I don't remember now because again, it was a while. It's been
Yeah.
a while since we did it, but yeah, he definitely had his favorites. I can't think of what it was now because I keep thinking of the ones from My Little Pony.
Yeah.
But yeah, he definitely has his favorites. I mean,
Yes.
that's his. Those two passions, I think, were equal. So. And he takes it very personally if you don't like either one of those things.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
He does.
And he's not a guy you want to get on the bad side. So.
Right. Oh man. But yeah, I think now since we're pretty far in, we should take a look at how Red Card actually plays. So thank you for answering all those questions, man.
I like.
We will be switching over to the game in just a sec, but I'm sure we'll come up with some more questions for you along the way.
Will this be your first time seeing him in game?
No, I got to see a little bit of it when we did some later sessions for it this year, and I got to see the animation, which was amazing.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure if it's the thing you showed earlier because I couldn't see it from this end, but I got to see the animation. That was awesome. Then I did get to see a little bit of the gameplay, but not a whole lot. So.
Yeah, the thing we showed earlier was the
Yeah, get it.
his intro cutscene. So it was one of the 2D animated things.
Was it this stuff right here?
Yes,
Yep.
it is. Yep.
Yeah, I got to see that. That was awesome. Yeah, I love that.
Do that at dance again.
Oh yes.
Dance is important.
Right. I forgot how important this dance is. Okay, so everybody take a look at this.
Yeah, get it.
All right.
So where is this dance from?
That dance is also known as the Boone Dance, named after former Volition producer Jim Boone. You can find a video of him doing this dance on the YouTubes, and he loves it when people bring it up.
Did the Boone dance make it into any of our other games?
I think it was in SR4.
SR4? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, isn't it just one of the dancing peds or something?
Yep.
Does it? Yeah. Yeah, that we've never actually straight up until now pointed out that was the Boone dance, but like I did this like when we re-revealed the game several months ago, and somebody immediately like made a gif of it on Twitter, like, look, it's the Boone dance, I found it. So yeah, I guess want to take us through what is Red Card all about gameplay wise?
All right, so Red Card, as mentioned, he doesn't have the two guns taped together anymore, but he still has two guns. The first, his basic attack, is a fully automatic shotgun. So if you just hold that the right trigger down there, yeah, you can see him just being able to wreck stuff really well. However, if you want to play him as a slightly more nuanced character, you can hold the reload button and switch over to a single shot assault rifle. Woo! So yeah, you're able to kind of figure out how do I want to play as Red Card, and some of his different gadgets and abilities play into that, and we can take a look at those here in a minute.
Yeah.
One thing I love about him, if you just stand still, like just from an animation perspective, is that he like never actually stands still. He's always like in like I need to be moving mode. I want to go. Always fidgeting, like more so than like any of the other agents, right?
Yeah, he's so amped all the time.
Yeah.
We have oh, and yeah, for people who stick around all the way to the end, we'll be taking a look at a couple bugs related to Red Card 2 that we've collected over the the development in this game, and there's one bug that combined with this animation is like really great.
All right. So every agent has their own weapon, their own special ability, and their own mayhem ability. So we saw his weapon, and his special gadget is based around that collar backpack that he has, and it's actually a charging ability. So some abilities are you hit them and they instantly fire, and this one you actually charge up. and the longer you hold the button for his default gadget, he gets more vulnerable, so he's going to take more damage, but he's also going to deal more damage with his abilities. So you can actually just tap the button and do a little bit of damage with the special, or you can hold it down and you do a lot more damage the longer you hold it.
Yeah, I just straight up killed him.
Yep, he's dead. He's very dead. His shotgun is actually great for taking down like bigger enemies, like really quickly. But it requires you to be in close, and he's somebody that is kind of a risk-reward-esque kind of character. So by that, what I mean is you have to put yourself in harm's way, and that was our way of getting that football hooligan kind of feel from his backstory into the actual gameplay of his character.
Yeah, one of the things I really like, the reason why I put red card in my team a lot, and it's just because he's great for. I like him being able to cover like a medium and short range. That's just, he's really useful for that alone. And also his mayhem, which we'll get to later. I like his mayhem a lot.
You gotta switch to that shotgun when you're that close.
Yeah, I do. So yeah, I guess since you've basically seen what his basic abilities are, we should probably jump into how you can customize him gameplay wise.
Yeah. So we'll go into his gadgets here. We'll take a look at some of his different special gadgets. We're able to do the bigger damage, but more vulnerable with self-destructive. But like if you go down to focused anger, it actually changes the shape of the of it, and it's a more of a line attack out in front of him. And it's actually more damaging than just the AoE, or the circular AoE around him with self-destructive.
One question I have, because I don't actually know. So for this one, because it just shoots straight out like a really narrow cone, does it go out farther too?
Yes, it does go out farther than the general, or the self-destructive one does. And then up with risk reward, you actually are able to, you don't do quite as much damage, but you regain health if it kills an enemy.
Right.
So you can switch to him and go in if he's like lower on health or whatever. It's again that risk reward gameplay is what he's all about. This one's actually called risk reward, but actually putting that into the I'm going to go get a lot of health back with guys that have been or that have taken a lot of damage. And I noticed if you go back in there real quick that you've put the Legion Tech on,
yes.
Right? And Legion Tech is the more specialized kind of tech that you can find and then craft and attach to all these gadgets. The Legion Tech here, big risk, big reward. You actually, if you max out a charge, you gain Empower. So it's kind of reducing the amount of vulnerability you have by going out and actually finding that and putting it onto one of the gadgets. And some of his weapon stuff, if we're gonna take a look in here. Turnover barrel. This is an automatic weapon reload as soon as he uses his special ability. Because since his weapon is a fully automatic shotgun, the reload on it isn't super fast because the fully automatic shotgun is extremely powerful. So we have to balance that somehow. But this lets you get it to 1 or 2 shots left, go in with the special ability, and release it, and then you automatically reload the weapon. So it's a way to kind of game the system. And here you have him set up with the first attacker Legion Tech that lets you steal life. So again, kind of letting him being able to take a lot of damage but take life away from enemies. Bullet hell here. you'll get a larger rifle clip. So if you're playing in the rifle mode, we have a couple of different ways that you're able to build each of these characters out. With him, focusing on shotgun or focusing on rifle is one way that you can kind of do this stuff. This, gives you a larger clip, and it's also faster to reload. Fair charger here, 15% chance to inflict vulnerable with the rifle shots. So one thing you can do if you have this equipped is switch to the rifle, shoot some guys, get them vulnerable, the dash in while you're charging the ability, his special ability, let it go. Since they're vulnerable, they're going to take more damage from it than they normally would. And the boom body blast, you actually get less rifle ammunition, but you get additional shotgun. So if you want to play more shotgun wise, great to put this on. Any critical hits from the shotgun actually inflict knockback. So when you're in close, a lot of times, since you're doing that risk reward type gameplay with him, having enemies get knocked back isn't a terrible thing to have happen, especially if you have guys like a shock trooper or swarm troopers up on you. You want to get them away so you have time to charge up your ability by the time they get back in, and then let it go.
Right. Yeah, I'll play with that.
And his passive gadgets here, when he gets down below 35% health, he gains haste with Endorphin Rush. This lets you kind of get out of a bad situation quickly, since haste, lets you move faster. The Mad Dash Legion tech you have here, enemies hit by his dash, they get vulnerability. So he's a character that we actually do something with the dash that most agents have, where you're able to actually dash into enemies and do damage to them, or in this case, give vulnerability to them. Painmaker boost. When most of these are, both of these are both drop health, but this one is if you want to stay in the action, just stay right there in the middle. When he gets below 35% health, he gains 2 stacks of Empower. So that allows you to just stay in there and take more damage. The Fodder Marauder Legion tech here, when you kill a Hell Trooper, you get 25% health back. And finally, Human Wall, when he goes below 20%, any of the debuffs that he has are removed, then he gains Fortify. That is going to make it so that you're taking a lot less damage. So you can either decide, am I going to stay in here? What am I going to risk as far as, damage output with all the enemies that are around me, versus am I going to use this time to get back out? And charging time here, it's lets you charge the ability longer, but that ups the amount of damage that it does.
Yeah.
That's actually the one that I generally put on.
Yeah. I'll actually probably, we're already at we're getting close to 4 for alert level if I just start shooting some more people. Because I want a lot of people.
Yeah, you do.
I want a lot of enemies out here for the next thing I'm going to do.
I know what you're going to do.
Yeah. I actually talked about it a little bit just because when we streamed the E3 demo, Red Card was one of the playable agents there, so we played as him for a bit. But yeah, his Red Card's one of my favorites also. Whoa.
That was a lot of boombots.
That was a lot of boombots that just exploded all at once. Holy shit. But here we go. His Mayhem rules.
Yep, so they are disrupted. They are down to almost no life. And you're able to just kind of mop all those guys up now.
Yeah. It's like, it doesn't matter how strong the enemy is, right? Like, normal enemies will just always...
They just melt.
Yeah, they just melt.
They're not dead. You still have to you still have to play mop up, but it is literally mop up to everybody that gets hit.
Yeah. And I remember an earlier version of his Mayhem was like a little bit harder to use, just specifically because your health also went down.
And
right?
at one point, your health also went down, and you were locked out of using your weapon, so it was only melee attacks.
Yeah.
So the idea was that all the enemies and yourself got really low on health, and all he had was a. Was that when we were messing with the headbutt melee idea? I think that may have been when we were messing with that. But you would go and melee them, and each person you killed during the the recharge time for the mayhem, you would gain health back.
Right.
Uh-oh.
I know one of the big boys is here.
One of them big boys. How much gusto does he have?
Oh man, maybe I'll talk about that on a stream one day. Okay, so I worked on those enemy intro cutscenes, like the one you just saw, and like that format, like the little end card that comes up. That I came up with some different like formats for those, and I was just like, what if they showed stats like G.I. Joe cards or something on those old action figures? And like I didn't know what the stats should be, so I just made up some random bullshit. One of the stats was just gusto. How much gusto does this Pride Captain have?
We always ask downstairs, like, oh, how much gusto do you have?
It's just
a
a great
giant inside joke with them in the studio.
It's just like when I wrote down gusto, it's like, what would the stats be if this were like a weird Japanese game from the 90s? And it's like they would totally say gusto.
It would be gusto.
They would say gusto, or you know, it's instead of like, or it would be guts in Japanese and then get mistranslated to gusto.
How much charisma do you think the Pride Captain's have?
Well, it depends on which one got generated.
That's true. Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
You either have gusto or you do not have gusto.
Yeah, it's a
you can't buy
bully.
it.
It's a bully.
It's something you're born with. So.
Gusto? True. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I found a store once. Nope.
Oh, you didn't.
I have no gusto. None. I got none.
Oh man. But yeah, that's some of some of what Red Card can do. He's like probably in like the top 5 for me as far as like what I pick here. Let's see if we can get some lines from him from taunting and stuff here.
Dump the ball in the goal.
Okay, that's a more normal one. He has some really weird ones.
You can go home.
He has some really weird names he will call people when you taunt them.
Yes. He's actually one of my favorite agents to put into my squad when I'm doing the main missions for the game, just to see the things that he says because they're so hilarious.
Yeah, they get weird.
Yeah, we streamed this months ago, but the final mission where you fight Hammersmith.
Yep.
There's that part where he's like, don't get too close to that cannon I'm working on. It's really unstable. And then Red Card is like, I'm unstable.
And so am I.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so am I. That's what it is. Yeah. Oh, man.
Dude, his triple jump is the best.
Yeah. Oh, we should totally...
Jump in a car, dude.
We should jump in a car, yeah. One of my other favorite...
Gotta jump in that car. This is like one of
entry
my...
animations.
Yeah, this is like top 2 or top 3 jumping car animations for me.
Boom! Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Kick that football.
that's one I captured a lot for
Football.
trailers just because it looks really good. That reminds me that at some point when people's like wall jump animations were being worked on or something, it wasn't Red Card, but I think Jewel was using one of Red Card's assets because for a while. Because she jumps on that turret, remember?
Yep.
For her wall jump? She was jumping on a soccer ball. A soccer ball would just shoot up from the ground and she would jump on
ball? Yeah, what's that ball?
that. God
What did
damn
you
it.
say? What was that?
The football.
I don't have a Venmo notification.
I don't have Venmo on my
you
phone,
getting
but
on
I'll
that?
get it.
Yeah.
How much do I own?
I got one, Evan.
Dude, it's like a
you got
pool
Venmo?
now, right?
Yeah.
It's at like $5 overall.
All right, you just pay Ryan. Ryan will pay me.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Got it.
that's the chain of command we got now.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have a processing fee,
I like
though.
this. Yeah.
Oh, man.
What's the fee?
$1.
I'm good
Well.
for it. You know I am.
Yeah. Is there anything else we want to show off with Red Card here before we?
Do we look at his cores?
Oh, we did not look at his cores. Yeah, let's take a look at that, and also just like how he levels up
Yeah.
overall, I suppose. So yeah, every agent.
Every agent has a different set of stats that you can increase.
Yeah.
You get these points when you level up. And they're all different. The bottom one is always going to be a squad bonus, so we'll look and see what his is when we get down to it. So intercom, if you're increasing this, this is just going to let you charge up his special ability faster. So if you put on the Legion tech that lets you go charge longer, do more damage, this of course can help mitigate that extra charge time to get extra damage, right? So that's a really good one for him. This one just lets him life leech from any enemy that he kills. Pretty basic, but again, pretty cool for the whole risk reward gameplay. Protected from on high, his shields will reboot faster the more points you put into this. And finally, oversharer. This is a squad bonus. The more points you put into overshare, the more melee damage anybody on your squad is going to do. Which makes him really, really good with Yeti.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've combined him before just by accident, just like, oh, that actually works really well.
Yeah. So his core upgrades, you will get cores by playing through the story or by collecting shards around the world, and you're able to spend them on any of your agents. These are permanent boosts that are just, overall positive increases to the agent. There's no reason to ever take these off once you get them. So this one, I was talking about the one thing with the dash that adds vulnerability to them. The unsportsmanlike conduct actually damages and staggers enemies when you dash, if you dash into them. Big swing. This is the alternate melee attack that he has, so it changes what his melee does, and it's just a larger damage radius for it, so you can hit more than one person. And the Mayhem ability damage is doubled, so it is doing even more, taking away shields. For higher level enemies, it's completely devastating.
Yeah, like I said when I was streaming the E3 demo and I had him here, because they had me play through a second time because they wanted to see how hard it gets on higher difficulties. Yep. And I was really glad I had him because anytime I had Mayhem, it made it way easier because it doesn't matter what level the enemy is, he's really good for higher difficulties just because he can reduce everybody's health so quickly with that Mayhem. Yeah, let's try this one more time.
I am doing the boon dance.
I forgot he actually just straight out says it's the boon dance.
Yep, he does.
Oh man.
What a bunch of cucumbers!
I'm using that.
What a bunch of cucumbers.
What a bunch of cucumbers.
Yeah, he has some compliments or lines for his compliment that does bring up Butterfly Princess. I think he just says, I am a Butterfly Princess for one of them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or when you kill someone, I think, as well, maybe?
Yeah, I think so too. Or when combat has ended.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dump the ball in the goal.
Yeah, that's Red Card. He's one of my favorites, especially gameplay wise.
Snot spoon.
Snot spoon. I need to play this dude more. I have honestly Red Card is amazing and I love him, but I've never taunted with him much. Maybe I should be doing that. I think I would win more arguments if I played more Red Card.
I've done a lot of
in real life.
Yeah. How would you respond to me calling you a snot spoon? Real talk.
Or if you called me a cucumber.
I mean,
a bunch of cucumbers.
A bunch of cucumbers.
Not even just one cucumber.
A bunch of them.
You're a bag of cucumbers, Ryan.
I don't know how to respond to that.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I win right there. Win that argument.
Okay, Snot Spoon.
Oh man.
Just triggered me, dude.
Oh man. But yeah, that's Red Card. He's super rad. I don't know what other word to use. I say rad a lot, and I sometimes.
He's dope.
Red Card is Rad Card.
Rad card.
Oh man. But yeah, before we wrap this up, we do have a couple bugs to
Oh boy, here we go.
For Red Card here. Actually, let me
remind me of the old days.
Let me switch back to full screen here while I get it set up because this stuff needs to get brought up. But yeah, the Red Card has some pretty fun ones, especially just because I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but there's one where he becomes perpetually scared. I will bring it up in a sec here.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, let's bring it back up here once our name credits go off the screen, because if I press the button too early, something will blow up.
Gotta check my posture.
Don't do that.
Gotta get my Braddock posture back.
Yep. There you go. All right.
Bringing it back
Let's,
around last week. What do you know?
Come over to this.
Yeah, that's right, Matt.
Whoops, the wireframe mode is on for some reason.
It is.
Is it just a mode you can actually toggle on and off in the
It's a
engine?
console
Okay.
command.
Yep. It just got stuck on.
It's really useful, actually. I love it.
Does it kill the frame rate? I bet it does.
Yeah, a
little bit.
maybe.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe you're at
Not as much as
18
showing
frames.
that,
You're at 18 frames per
Oh
second.
yeah, look at that.
There at the top left.
Whoever did the screenshot.
I mean, the human eye can't see more than 24, so you're pretty close to it.
Yeah, totally. Everything's all cinematic when I look at stuff. But yeah, we have video of this too. Red Card being really shocked.
Very, very scared.
Yeah,
That ped, though, doesn't
yeah. This looks like he's afraid of like social contact or something.
Yeah.
Like he's like, don't look at me. He's like,
And he's looking at him.
Yeah,
like,
that
yeah.
ped's like, I'm not having whatever's happening.
I'm looking at you.
Like, what's up with this hooligan?
And then yeah, we have video of this too.
Just, oh god.
Wasn't it called like Red Card's Day Out or something like that on the thread? He was like super shocked to see like everything.
Oh man.
Oh
Oh
god.
Oh man. Yeah, he.
Why didn't we keep this? Worked it into his whole storyline.
He would have to have like some kind of phobia of like something really
really
something
common.
really like and not like innocent.
A severe case of social anxiety.
Just really not.
Whoa,
Whoa, whoa,
Whoa.
whoa.
And then his whole story was about him triumphing over his social anxiety.
What if this was what he was shocked about?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Like,
shocked, yeah.
He knew.
Yeah.
Am I the only
He
one
knew
seeing this? Everybody
how
is walking
fragile-
past
Okay,
it.
wait. Can we go
fabric
back?
of reality
Can we
is.
go back and like give Red Card a super tragic past where like he saw his father die in front of his eyes because he was driving a car and then to pick him up from school he just clipped through the ground.
Well, that's why there's DLC.
That Debbie from Legal Content, man.
Yeah, with the now you're really we'll do the Debbie from Legal, that DLC package.
That's how they
and then-
connect first.
Yeah.
Like he like sees his father die and like he has to go get a lawyer and Debbie.
Oh man.
And then
He's
like
suing
he's brought into Mayhem and he's like, I got a great lawyer.
He's suing the city too.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
poor collision on their city infrastructure.
yeah, that's just bad infrastructure. Like bad city planning.
Oh man.
They need better
Well-
civil engineers in Seoul, I guess.
All right, I guess wait 6 months for that, fans.
I'm so sad this can't actually be
Available
DLC.
for $5.
Venmo me $1 if you're into it.
Oh man.
Just don't forget my $1 processing fee.
Yeah, actually send him McCabe first.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, those are some bugs.
So was that his car? That was.
I think that was just Peds just driving
Oh.
into their
Yeah.
doom
Yeah.
repeatedly.
I
Oh.
love how no one cares too. It's like all the
Yeah.
pets
Yeah.
are just walking about like, yeah, that's normal here.
Yeah.
Well, it is a city under
Well,
siege
Pride-
by.
yeah, yeah.
Is that a pride goof? Like,
Is
just
it
like-
actually a goof, or maybe they're collecting those cars for a reason?
maybe that's true.
They need a lot of materials to make their dungeons, and they'll just take anything.
And the Pride bots.
Anything
they need
and
metal.
the Pride bots. Yeah.
Gotta have that gusto's gotta come from somewhere.
Right.
Like, it doesn't come from just anyway.
One of their experiences is being able to manufacture gusto for people who don't have it.
I mean, it's a secret ingredient.
Yep.
The secret ingredient is pets. It's like Soylent.
Oh man.
Maybe they're born with it.
Maybe it's gusto.
Oh man.
Dude,
But that
that needs
Red Card.
to be a thing.
Yeah, it does.
Like maybe like a pinup of someone, like a pride bot. Maybe he's born with it. It's gusto. Ode to pride.
That's Red Card. Yeah, if you want to see more of our stuff, these streams always get put up on our YouTube channel, like the Wednesday after we streams at youtube.com/VolitionTube. All of our previous AOM streams are there. And we are streaming every week until the game's out. August 15th. It's so close. That's so weird.
It is. It is very close.
That feels like it's looming.
That is less than 2 months.
Yeah.
It feels
Man.
Dang.
It's a month and a half away.
Yep.
And a half.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dave, do you have anything you want to promote?
I got a nice Venmo. You guys are into that?
I'm kind of wondering about this purchasing Gusto thing. That sounds pretty good.
We'll talk off stream.
Yeah. That's a secret project we can't reveal to the public right now. But R&D is working on it currently. So.
As long as I get to hear about it first, that's all I really care about.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of games coming out. We do, and I think we mentioned, I actually produce a podcast called Funny Greek that we do from the cigar shop that I go to. It's a couple of friends of mine who are comedians, Angela Tsaroukas and Noella Grabley. And we have all kinds of guests. I've actually been a guest on the show, talking about voice acting with my buddy Jason Broad, who kind of works on the other end of things. He's part of the Loop Group, and so he does all of that stuff. Funny show. It's going to be hitting. It's on SoundCloud right now. It's going to be hitting iTunes, Google Play Music, and a bunch of other things in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
It's not family friendly. Because it's, they're both working very established comics, and but it's very funny, and even when it's really interesting too. We've had all kinds of really diverse people on the show, so that's fun. That's out there, and other games that you guys didn't do, so I won't talk about them. But
Please don't.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah,
I like this
they
guy.
don't matter.
This guy thinks about people.
That game will matter more. So
Yeah.
But I got to say, by the way, you guys, great work on this game. It was so much fun to work on. I can't wait till it comes out. Looks like it's going to be a blast. Everything I've read about it so far, it seems like all the reviewers and people who have played it are loving the game. They just say it's a lot of fun. So good job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
homie.
Thanks for having me be part of it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's always rad having the voice actors on.
Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it. So yeah, it's fun.
Rad card.
Thanks for voicing
Okay.
Rad Card.
You guys find me,
Bad card.
Dave B. Mitchell on Twitter, Instagram, just Dave B. Mitchell on Facebook, all that. Say hi. I try to respond as much as I can and as quickly as possible if people say something. So if you want to tell me I saw it or say hello, whatever, I'll talk.
All right, nice. See, do we have anything else about? Oh yeah, if you want to know more about our game, Ages of Mayhem, you can go to Twitter. We are at AOM the Game. We're also AOM the Game on Facebook. And yeah, we stream every week, Thursdays at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, 22 GMT. And again, streaming new stuff about the game every week until it's out on August 15th. So yeah, come back if you want to see more stuff about the other agents we haven't shown. We have about half of them left to show, I believe.
Dang.
Like
We have that many weeks?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's about 6 weeks left, and
Yeah.
yeah, we have like
We have exactly
6
enough weeks.
or 7 agents left to show, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, that is math. All right, cool.
All right.
I should know that. I'm not a programmer at all. Well, that's fine.
There's calculators. They do math.
Yeah.
My calculator will actually not start on my computer.
What?
So
Like the Windows
don't-
calculator?
It doesn't start.
What?
It doesn't open. I hit
Oh,
the
man.
button on
I would like
on my
reformat
keyboard.
my whole computer to get that thing back.
I hit the button on my keyboard and hope maybe someone from IT is watching. I should probably just email
Yeah.
them later. Anyway.
Yeah.
And it just is like, you need a new calculator. I'm like, it's literally, that's the pop-up that comes up. I'm sorry, I'm wasting time
What
right
the
now.
hell?
But
I'm like
That's
upset.
my life.
I'm upset for you now.
that
though.
is my life right now. That's the state of my life.
They have calculators online, you know.
I know. I
not
like,
the same.
Google has a
I have
calculator.
my phone.
not
That's
the
what
same.
I use. I bust my phone out
Right.
and I'm like, I'm texting ladies and I'm doing some basic math, but that's
On Venmo.
yeah.
That's all
On
a phone's
Venmo.
good for.
I think it probably is
Ladies
lack
and
of
basic
gusto.
math.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I need to download some Gusto.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some new free RAM and Gusto.
All right. Well, that was Red Card. Come back next week, see another new agent. I'm Josh Stinson, the video editor here at Volition. Today on the couch we had,
I'm Evan Cox.
Matt Entin.
Ryan McCabe.
and then over Skype we had.
Dave B. Mitchell.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.